Alright, so I'm actually just gonna mess with the settings real quick because it seems we are out of focus. And I think it has something to do with the lens cap, I'm hoping. Hey, Pog, I wasn't recording that whole time. Alright, well, the camera was out of focus for a minute, but now we are here today to do the same thing we usually do. Let's set up the ramp, hopefully have a good time. It was raining the past couple days, as you can see from this tire full of water. Still don't really know like a good way of getting water out of the tire. I just booted around a couple times and hope for the best. I have no idea, but been lazy again. I gotta stop doing that. It's supposed to be one video a week at least. I was like, oh, you know, one video a week might be too easy, but I'm slacking off. Slacking off pretty hard. Hoya! It's not necessarily that I'm not doing anything. It's partially that I am not training all the time, which is one thing, but it's enough to make a vlog at least once a week. Ooh. But it's the fact that I'm not editing my videos. I feel like the editing pipeline is just like too, what would the word be? Like, fuck, what is that word? Inconvenient? The editing process is inconvenient. Mostly because like either I edit on the ROG Ally and small screen, it works. It's just then I have to use a USB to get the footage off the cameras rather than like an SD card. SD card makes it easy. Or I bring my big laptop to work and edit there. Because right now I don't have a real like home computer setup. I will soon, which is kind of exciting, but for right now I don't really have like a home for my computing. So I'm kind of just floating on a bunch of like portable laptops, essentially. There's portable computers, and as nice as that is, I wish they had a port for just the SD card. It would be nice just to bloop, 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 bloop. I guess the ROG does have one for a micro SD, so, but I may have burnt mine out like everyone else who has a ROG LA. So it's kind of like, I guess I should test that. Because if that's the case, then it wouldn't be that bad, and I don't complain about nothing. But if it doesn't have that, or if it doesn't work, then that makes sense. But this vlog, I'm basically just gonna raw dog with the audio. Valentine's Day is coming up, so me and the wife are gonna go down to the beach and have a good time there. I don't know how much I'll actually record and whatnot, just because, you know, romantic times, have a good day. But it'd probably be like B-roll or something. At least something to remember the time by. I think that's what these vlogs are more about. It's less about views and showing off like what I'm gonna do, and it's more just kind of what I'm thinking at the time. So I don't really expect too many people to watch, which is totally cool. I don't really want that many people watching my like inner thoughts as the ramp. Just want to be sure that I'm actually in frame. Maybe I could do that a little bit. It's kind of hard to see the screen. Yeah, that should be fine. But at like the beginning of the week, which would be Saturday for me, did have a Mardi Gras little festival, and I probably will have it would probably be the last vlog, honestly. I don't think it'll be this one, because cohesively it doesn't really make sense. What? That was pretty cool. It was very weird. Kind of loud. I think as I'm getting older, the problems that I have are getting a little worse. Like, I've always had an aversion to loud things, but stuff like that was like too loud. It was making me kind of like zone out. Maybe I just never had someone that was there at the same time that wanted to really talk to me at the same time as things were super loud. So maybe I just never noticed before. But I like zone out and I'm like focusing on all these other things rather than just like enjoying the moment ahead of me kind of thing, which is interesting. But I like had to put in my headphones, not to like turn off or like turn on music and kind of zone out that way, but it was more like just to make everything a little quieter. I wonder if you heard any of that. My microphone was in my shirt that entire time. See if I could fix that real quick. That's like how a lapel should be, but it's probably off. My audio quality is probably ass. What if I put it like that? Maybe that'll be better. But yeah, I like seem to be having issues with like auditory stimulation and just like a giant number of people in a crowd. I'm trying to get over it, but I didn't notice how much it made me uncomfortable until like recently. And it's not that I just like don't like people necessarily. I mean, I kind of don't. I got to be honest, but it's more that they just chatter and I can't seem to ignore people's chatter. It's like I'm invested in their conversation and I can't turn that off, you know? So it's just me like listening to everyone's stuff all the time. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm picking up little bits of information from this person and this person and this person. So, I don't know. But, I don't know. Days like this where it's just kind of nice and quiet is pretty nice. Like, I'll still listen to music and have like a good time. But I also like the sound of the birds and the airplanes. And you can hear like the leaves rustling. And it's real nice. And unfortunately, I can't really like share how I feel auditorily with other people. So it's kind of one of those things, like it's only like a me thing. Same thing with like music and stuff like that. I was thinking of at least like trying a couple side flips today, just kind of get stuff moving. I'm a little worried about it, but that's just it's always in my head. Like, is it really going to be that bad as long as I stretch? Probably not. I'm gonna reposition the camera though. This vlog is gonna be very long because I'm just yapping. I'm just yapping away. But I feel like sometimes having a little yap session is pretty good. But thanks for a very long video. I mean, it's easy because I don't have to do like that much. But like action-wise, and I don't really mind doing action. It's just I don't know, something about being out here maybe has just like sapped a lot of the motivation out of me. And I don't think it's like I don't think it's getting older. I'm pretty sure not. It's just I don't know, something magical has left parkour, and I think it was just having friends around to do it with. It's kind of a bummer, but even in Colorado, they kind of weren't doing anything. So there was always promises of returning and doing cool stuff, but people have different lives and they move on. This is just one thing that I really like to do. It's just I got so lazy that it became a chore to kind of work back to doing it. And I was still that way to a degree. Like, it's going to be a chore coming back, but I think if I stick to it, it'll ultimately be worth it. But it's just one of those things you actually have to do. And unfortunately, being out here, maybe it's just this grass specifically, I'm not 100% sure. There are so many ants. So many ants, and they will bite the fuck out of me if I sit down to stretch. And I think that makes it a little more difficult. To a degree. It's one of those things that's like, it could be nice, because then it makes me not have to sit down during the session. But stretching like this is still new to me. Although this one's pretty good. I saw a tricker do this. And I don't have a good depth on these squats. It seems like my hips are getting in the way. So I really need to work on my hip, like, flexibility. So I think that one's holding me back from, like, a lot of stuff. Well, there's nothing left to do but to do it. So, I guess, let's get that first Webster out of the way. Or maybe I'll do a side flip. Let's see what the body is saying. Oh. Let's give one run up. It's as good as it can be. I wish there was like a better way to warm up my back. I feel like it never like, there's like always a pinch to it. You know what? All right, maybe that'll help. Okay, not awful. It hurts my hip, like the opposite hip that was hurt before. And I don't know why that is. Like it actually just like makes that hip feel so weak for a second. But I guess the only way to get better at it is just to keep doing it. Because it's like one of those spots that I can't really like stretch. So I don't know. It's really odd. I don't know. It's kind of a bummer though. I don't know. I'm going to take a second to try and stretch that out. This might seem real lame, but I think I'm going to call it for now. I think I'm going to try and hold off on flips until I actually have like a good workout routine, because I was looking it up and it has something to do with like hip flexor tendons, and you could get tendonitis and all this other stuff. And I don't really want to exaggerate my problems. I want to fix them. But the problem with that is I need to know that there's a problem there to begin with. And one of these sessions usually tell me like, oh, hey, you got problems with your hips, your knees, your back. And it's like, it's been less my back, which is good. My back's still a little like I said, it like feels pinched from time to time, and like gets kind of like sore when I'm just like standing there for a long time, not doing much, and can't really fix that. But there's just something weird. I don't know. My body just feels like maybe misaligned in some way, and I can't really figure out how or why. At least not right now. Maybe if I actually took the time to do the right stretches and strengthen the right way, then it wouldn't be so much of an issue. But I'm just lazy. I would rather like sit down and play some fucking Valorant than I would stretch, and that's a problem. That's something I have to fix. But I think I have kind of a small, brief idea on what I want to do and how to do it. I've been watching this guy named Kojo tricking. He's pretty good at kind of explaining like his tricking ideology, and honestly, moving from tricking ideology to parkour ideology is very similar in a lot of ways. So it's been kind of helping me. He says he never goes more than 12 hours without stretching. It's like, all right, yeah, let's try to get that at least like 15 minutes every 12 hours, if not more. But kind of have like a strengthening stretching sesh would be a good idea. So today wasn't necessarily fruitful, but I got to yap a little bit. And you know what? That's okay with me. And I hope the audio is pretty good. I'm still new to using the wireless lavalier, and there's planes and dogs, and it could sound like a bunch of stuff. It could sound like absolutely nothing. Who knows? But that's it for the day.